Now, you'll recall, and I'm going to go back a little bit to where I left off this morning, that we were talking about using the infinitive construct within a construct chain. All right, and this is where I want to pick it up at example 25 in the book. Do you understand that Katol Ha'ish is a construct chain of exact parallel in structure to Sus Ha'ish? Right? We can talk about the horse of the man, or we can talk about the killing of the man. There's some kind of a relationship between these two nouns. Okay? Now, when we talk about the horse of the man, it's pretty clear that the relationship is one of possession or ownership. It's the man's horse, right? When we're talking about the killing of the man, we could talk about the man's killing, right? The man's killing. But do you feel immediately the tension coming for not being sure whether the man is doing the killing or whether someone is killing the man? Do you understand this problem? This is that objective-subjective genitive issue that lurks in the background in many of these kinds of grammatical problems in almost all languages. Okay? But the basic construction is straightforward. It's like a construct chain. We can do the same thing by substituting the pronoun his for the noun man. So instead of the killing of the man, or the man's killing, it's simply his killing. Killing being used here as the gerund, as the verbal noun, or in Hebrew the infinitive construct. And again, to review a piece from this morning, notice the shift from the infinitive construct regular form of katol to the so-called kutl base that appears when we add pronominal suffixes. And you get this kutl form with kametz katuf there. All right, do you see this? Again, that's a closed syllable, which means now you're always going to see something added to it, like my killing, or your killing, or in this case, his killing. Sounds kind of clumsy, but that's exactly what it says. Tim?
When you've got the someone's killing him, on the flip side there, wouldn't it be more often and more common that it would go into being a direct object after the verb instead of attached to it?
No. The answer to your question is there any way of assuming, just because you have the pronominal suffix used here, whether this is the subject or the object of the verbal action? And the answer is no.
They use it often like that, huh?
Yes. Okay? That's the potential problem. Now, we're going to get to the point where you're going to see how it gets resolved fairly easily, but yes, that's a problem. Okay, what we're going to do now is take the exact same expression, the killing of the man, and simply add a base to it, a preposition. This becomes a prepositional phrase in the killing of the man. Exactly the same in structure as the prepositional phrase in the house of the priest, right? We were sitting around in the house of the priest, in the killing of the man. It's in the construct chain, but you can hear the verbal force of the infinitive taking over. Now, here's where we're going with this thing. This becomes a syntactical unit within a sentence. In the killing of the man, and we looked at this one yet this morning, I think. In the killing of the man, kata ladonai, or li Yahweh. That is to say, we have a main sentence here, which is kata li Yahweh, right? Kata is a perfect verb form. He sinned against Yahweh. But we've added to that what really is a prepositional phrase, in the killing of the man, he sinned against Yahweh. Again, it sounds kind of clumsy, but it makes some sense. He sinned against Yahweh. How? Why? What did he do? Well, in killing the man, he sinned against Yahweh. We even talk that way sometimes. Now let's address the potential ambiguity of the subjective or objective case. Consider examples 30 to 33, and let's sort these out. Okay? Do you see that the basic sentence, he sinned against Yahweh, is the same here? Now, what's the difference, however, in the prepositional phrase between number 30 and number 31? In 30, it says, in the killing of the man, he sinned against Yahweh. In 31, what does it say? In the killing of the man, eth avdo, he sinned against Yahweh. What is this, eth avdo? It's the direct object of the killing. Do you see that that is making sure what probably was only an assumption up here, that the man was the killer of the killing, not the killee of the killing? Because the guy being killed is now correctly identified as the servant with the direct object marker. In the man's killing his servant, he sinned against Yahweh. That makes it crystal clear who's doing what to whom. Get it? In the man's killing his servant, he sinned against Yahweh. In number 30, or example 30, you're really not sure who's killing whom, right? In the man's killing somebody else, or you could say in the killing of the man, someone else sinned against Yahweh. See, number 30 can go either way. 31 is clear that it's this man is the subject of the killing and this is the object of the killing. Now look at 32. What's happened here? What's the difference between 31 and 32? The man has been replaced by the pronoun. So instead of in the man's killing, it's simply in his killing his servant. But is it clear who's killing whom? Answer, yes. But now look at 33. In the killing of the man, what's the verb? You got to turn a page in the textbook, huh? Look at example 33. Who sinned against Yahweh? I did. Here you have a different verb form. I sinned. So translated literally, example 33 reads something like this. In the killing of the man, I sinned against Yahweh. Is the man, in number 33, killing or getting killed? He's getting killed because I'm the one, presumably, that's doing the sinful action here. And there's another way in which you can sort this out, even though it sounds horribly confusing. Any questions so far? Yeah, Jeff.
Can you translate that as of? I feel tempted to do that all the time. In his killing of his servant?
In his killing of his servant. Yes, you can say that in English, right? Right? In the killing of the servant. Right. See, you're betraying the fact that you're using it as a noun in English, I think. All right, do I have you thoroughly confused? Frankly, this isn't this tricky. It just sounds dumb, right? Because we don't go along talking like this in the killing of the man, or in the man's killing. All right, this is an